Whoa, hey guys, welcome to EB Games. This is random, streaming at 2 in the afternoon with no scheduling behind it and showing my signal messages to the whole world and doxing myself in a million different places. So some of you know I've been working on this game for a long time, Teatime Samurai, which is awesome, and you should all go check it out as soon as pronto. It's on Steam, holy cow. And I've been working really hard on it, and I kind of feel like I need a break, but I don't want to take a break. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to spend the rest of today, I don't know how long, maybe an hour, maybe 3 hours, I don't know. I'm going to spend it working on a totally different project. You can see I've got like nothing here, so we're just going to get in here and screw around, and we're going to do some pixel art. Look at this guy, he's cool. And we're gonna maybe make some game stuff happen. Look at these guys. Look at that. So stupid. They're all here. So let's just get right to it. Yes, I'm using Game Maker Studio 1.4, finest piece of game development software ever released. It's just garbage. Such a mess. It was fine in like 2015, and it's quite poor now. It was good in 2015, and it's gotten progressively less good. So let's make a room. All right, 640 by 360. Let's say. Okay, nice and small. Let's give it a view. Yes. 40 by 60, and then 1280 by 720, and now we've got our universe. Let's make an object. So the idea for what I'm working on here is kind of an Oregon Trail type game. We're going to see if we can implement some really, really basic version of that in very little time. Mainly, I just want to draw crappy fantasy art, and so that is what the stream is mainly going to be, me drawing crappy fantasy art. And then I'm going to probably post the sprite sheets for free someplace, and you too can have access to my crappy fantasy art. Okay, so how do we want to structure this? So the main game is going to be, you've got like a wagon type thing. Well, that's just going to be graphics. It'll be drawn to the screen. Behind the scenes, the architecture is going to be, all right, you have a party. Party has individual people in the party. Each of those people have stats. Shit, Game Maker is not the right thing to build this in, because this is all data driven. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to abstract this. If I wasn't doing this in Game Maker, this would be like a lot of databasey, JSON-y, abstract class type stuff. This would really be like a CRUD app with a lot of sugar on top of it. But what we're going to do, because we don't have that kind of flexibility of data structures in Game Maker, is we're just going to abstract it into objects that just aren't going to be drawn on screen. So that I think is going to be the easiest way. It's going to be the best way. And for such a small game, normally you wouldn't want to do that because the performance is going to be horrible. But for such a small game, I think it's not a problem. I'm going to make a party. And then we're going to make, what do you call a person in your party? What do you call a person in your caravan? I guess we got to figure out what you call a person in your caravan. Let's call it. I'm going to be using this constantly. In Teatime Samurai, the object name for the main player is Dingus, because I didn't think Teatime Samurai was going to be a full game that I was going to make. So I just said, whatever, I'll just call it Dingus. And I don't want to do that again. Call it party car. That's fine. That's descriptive. Okay, we got party, we got party car, we got a game here. We're done. This is all we needed, folks. Okay, so let's go into create event. Initialize variables. Okay, so each party member is going to have HP. Let's say it's 100. Each one will have damage. I guess there's going to be combat in this game. You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna make this insane straight out the gate. Straight out the gate. Okay. I'm just gonna make this so overly complicated, like straight away. Okay, because I just feel like it. I just feel like doing this. Get max HP. Oh, that's not where you put that. Put that here. Okay, so get max. It's just so stupid. All right. So instead of having a max HP stat, we're going to have a constitution stat. Cons equal 1. So return cons times. That's a big effect on constitution. Let's say con times 20. So for a constitution of 5, you have a max health of 100. So that makes sense. And it's silly to just have this for one stat, but I'm sure there's going to be other modifiers like, I don't know what else. I guess for armor, we wouldn't do that. Man, we're just abstracting the hell out of this before we get to any of it. We're already like, oh, we're going to need an armor system, and we have 2 empty objects. We're just off to such a stupid start. Okay. Strength and honor, blood, and thunder. Strength equals 1. Say roll base damage. And let's do agi equals 1 plus agi times 2. And we're going to parenthesize that, even though order of operations dictates that we're talking about. All right. Agi, and let's do strength, agility, intellect equals 1. Perception equals 1. Get max. I always struggle to decide if I should capitalize the P in HP or MP, but I usually don't. I should because it's health points. But I don't because it's camel case, and it makes me feel more secure, like I've got a security blanket wrapped around me. Checking on my live chat here, making sure my engagement is top notch. Okay, get max HP, party card, oops. Okay, great. Okay, return int times 20. No, let's do it times 10. Okay. Not that any of this makes any sense. Not that any of this matters, because this is so freaking abstract. I can't believe I'm starting with stats like this. Oh, this is important. Name. We're gonna actually do first name, last name, because that way we can do like random name generators more easily. Everyone's default name is gonna be John Smith. John Smoth. Okay, no, typo. Everyone's default name is now John Smoth. I used to prepend all my scripts with SCR, because in Game Maker you, at least I do from coming up in like Game Maker 6 days, I namespaced everything with not namespace, what is it, finish cased? Finish method? What do you call it when you prepend the data structure, the name of the data structure to a variable? I don't know what that's called. Swiss case? Put in the comments what that's called. I can't remember. But I don't do that anymore because I learned to program in other places and it's not necessary. With sprites, I do it because like sprite wizard, if you have a object named wizard, there's a collision there, but you're not going to have a script that's just called wizard. First name, John Smoth. Oh my god. Okay. First name, last name. I think that's just about it. Spells. Okay, for spells, I think I'm gonna actually abstract. I'm going to abstract thought. I don't know what part of the world A becomes that. A becomes an O. Abstract. Abstract, maybe. Region of England, but not abstract. Obstetrician, perhaps. Okay, what the hell was he doing? I don't remember. First name, last name. Right, spells. Let's make it just abilities. That, wow. Oh, there's so many method missing functions that I'm gonna grab the game maker. Doesn't have built-in function-wise that I should take from Teatime Samurai. I have like a whole folder of just helper scripts that do things game maker should do out of the box. Okay, abilities equal. I'm complaining about an engine that was deprecated in 2018. So everything with a grain of salt. Okay, let's create ability. Maybe I should be. Let's do that. Wow, look at that. Because there's no representation of this in the physical. Maybe I should just. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to do it like that. So if it's an object that's going to appear in the game, it's going to be an OBJ. If it's just party car, if it's just I'm using it as like a like a class, I'm not going to put an OBJ in front of it. Now we're thinking with portals. Should be a way to disable like everything, every part of an object. You know what this is going to present issues with? Lots of things. Worry about those later. I guess we can just enable persistence, and that solves that problem, basically. God freaking help us if we want to create a saving and loading system with this game, but we are so far from that. Like we haven't implemented any of the core mechanic, and we've already got all these structural abstractions here. But that's just how I roll, and sometimes this stuff actually helps you a lot. We're not actually going to worry about abilities right now. Let's just say name equals. Because some of the things, I think like active abilities are not something that I'm going to implement, especially today, but passive abilities where it's like the ability to detect magic or something, that is something that I'm going to want to have. All we actually need for that is just the name of the ability. Though come to think of it, probably going to want to define these not as a class, but as array, because we're going to want to be able to reference these from elsewhere. Okay, so we're not going to do abilities this way. We're going to do this as a array. Can you do this? Can you define an array like this? No, Game Maker has hash maps and lists. They're very, very funky. It's DS map. Have a quick look at how DS maps work. level 90. Yeah, so I could do this. I reckon we'd want to combine lists and maps with these. JSON, so there's a few special. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do this as arrays, and I'm just going to complain about GameMaker while having a better option. Okay, so let's just make ability 0 detect, not detect magic. Because that's like the first Oregon Trail-y type of event that I can think of. Detect magic nearby. We should probably have an ability ID. It's not going to change. So if I want to change the name of the ability, doesn't get all screwy. So let's make abilities 0, 0 equals. That's the slug, and that's just going to stay the same, even if I change the name of the ability. Yes, really, I should. It's going to drive me nuts if I have to then put something in between them. So I'm going to do this. Beautiful. Downright wacky, that's what I says. And fine. Cost 10. No, it'll cost 0. It's free. And we're not going to do anything like targets right now, because we're going to keep this simple, I say, as I create these ridiculous abstractions. We have had some moisturizer on my face, and I just drank some coffee and got some moisturizer in my mouth. Great, delish. Just delish. Okie dokie. We got John Smoth here. I think I want to name him Boogie Smush. They live in Boogie Smush, in mansions and Benzes, giving ends to my friends. And it feels stupendous. Okay, let's switch gears here. Create a background. We should just rob the Oregon Trails background straight up. Wow, 3 views. What was the version that was on like Mac OS 8? Oops, it's just legit Mac OS 8 because that's the version I grew up with. I'd love to specifically be stealing from that. Just blatantly. We're a ripoff here. I'm not ashamed of being a ripoff here. I'm proud of being a ripoff here. Hey, look who it is. Let's see. Bellevue. None of these are actually on the trail. This is the version that I'm thinking of. Yeah, okay, that's what I wanted. Wow, the actual view of your cart is a lot smaller than I remember. Then again, it's like the least important part of the game. So I'm remembering now. So you've got the cart, like your caravan on the far right there. Let's open this up. Let's open the image. Funny. All right. Open. No, screw me, right? Okay. Who remembers Oregon Trail? Just go, sometimes the internet really drives me nuts. Average view duration of 3 seconds. We're in the hot zone. We're doing great. Okay, so we have this wizard that I drew that I kind of like. So we're gonna use him as a basis for what the graphics in this game are. look like? Um, I think I'm gonna make my default sprite size 32 by 32 because Game Maker kind of is into that. So let's say the first. Do we want to do a little thing like that? At 640 by 360, you don't have a lot of room for that. Though it would look nice. So let's say 16, not divisible by that. What is it divisible by? 24? No, 12 by 12. It's definitely 8 by 8. I'm sure of that. Yeah. Yeah, but not 16. No. Okay, so we'll have a border of 8 around everything. 7, 8, 9. Ho, 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 ho. Okay, so let's call this back. And size 60. I guess if I do it this way, I can just keep on coming back and adding to it if and when I want to, because I'm going to want to. Those bads. Okay, so zero index. Yes, it is. So that's 8 pixels. We will go all the way down here. Okay, there's our 8 pixel border. Shouldn't really be flesh toned, but I guess flesh tone is yellow in this game because that's there. So it's going to be actually 7. Go. Fill, and then we go that way, and then we'll fill that up. I don't really know why I copied this guy here. All right, we're going to do this. Watch how freaking genius this is. Copy, transform, rotate. Whoosh, look at that. Now we got a fabulous frame. The whole thing is. Do I want to derive some of the color from this guy? Wow. That's a very saturated color. If we're going for that ridiculously saturated color palette, I guess I could go with like a kind of magical gray could be nice. Metal kind of thing. Do this kind of thing here. Oh. Yeah, I think that's going to look real nice. I think that's going to be really nice. Yeah, that's really nice. And then we're gonna. It's not really nice. I know it looks real funny. Go like this. Yeah. Yeah. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking. Look at that. We're starting grease fires with the way that I wrap. You know, and I know. Nice like that. Oh yeah, that's gonna look really nice. This is so stupid. Well, that's fabulous. Perspective of that is. There is any perspective to that. It's kind of an optical illusion, whether it's going inwards or out. But let's just call this a day. Feel really good about it. Throw this on here. Background 0, background, back frame. Whoa. Didn't I make that 640 by 360? What? How did that happen? I swore I made it 640 by 360. That's annoying. So annoying. Oh, I'm resizing. I want to change canvas. Oh, right. Oh, joy of joys. That's so annoying. Fortunately, we can just do that same little trick we did before. Rotate 180, and there is our frame. First part of the rip-off complete. We got a frame. It's like your father always said, in a box. And we can now come back to that later and make it look nicer. But let's get our little trail view. So we just want grass right now. This is 640 by 480. This isn't going to be super hard. We're in, this is 3 to 2 aspect ratio. We're in 16 to 9. And yes, it's 2 and not by ratio. And with a ratio, you say 2. Resolution, you say by. 640 by 360. 16 to 9. Okay. All right. So let's jump back here. We're not actually going to make it a part of this, but just like to segment things out. Beautiful. Looks great. We'll have a bunch of UI stuff over here. I think we won't do UI on both sides. I think we'll leave UI on one side. We can have like menu there. Leave this here so we have we know what it is. We can have like repurposable options here, I guess. Like have all this kind of stuff. We'll have a column here that's like icon. Yeah. And then we'll have the text on the side. Entry. GameMaker's sprite editor for this version of GameMaker, it was pretty limited, but it was really good at what you were using it for. Like, you just right click to copy something, roll click to get the color picker. You don't need to switch between tools. Like those two things, which you're going to be using so commonly when you're doing this like, basic pixel arty stuff. It's so nice to just have those really, really readily available. It's nice, just little niceties, says I. Okay, so that's where that stuff is going to go. Plenty of room for different options. We can change that by context. I want another spot for things over here. That open to stuff. Should this be where caravan screen is? We probably want more. I don't want it to be so narrow. And maybe maybe it starts like here, right? Starts like there and comes down to there. This is looking like a football game for the Amiga or something. Nintendo Entertainment System. This is like the management screen where you manage your team. Surprise, this is turning into a football. Wow, this really does look like I'm making a roster for the team or something, or like I'm laying out what plays we're going to go with. I guess this looks like a football field, sort of. Do I want this to go all the way to the other side? I guess this would be a good argument for having this part of the map be dedicated to some other context menus. Or you know what I can do? Here's what I'll do. That's smart. Love complimenting myself. It's just constantly wowing myself. Okay, so we'll come down. Really be a sports game with this green color here. Okay. This. All right. I still feel like that's a little narrow. Then again, how much am I really going to be displaying there? It kind of depends on. I feel like this needs to change depending on what we're looking at. Like for the trail view, it wants to stay pretty narrow. I have two screens like this, one for the map and one for the trail. I guess this will be like time and date type of thing. You know what? I should really have a way to like select a character. Okay, yeah, so you know what this will be? I wasn't actually planning on using this for this. Day. So this will be your characters, and you can select portraits here. Still have, no, I definitely don't still have the wizard in my clipboard. Click on the person. Look at that, just right click and drag, and you got it. Certainly don't have time to just hit Control C and Control V. Certainly not. Okay. This guy's there. Yeah. So that's going to be your characters. Party. These alignments are horrendous. It's starting to look like a poker simulator or like a craps simulator. Okay, so up, and this should definitely be aligned. One of these bars. Okay. And I want to say this should be like a parchment papery type background. Color is parchment paper. Less saturated or more saturated? Gray. That looks like skin. Looks quite like skin. Yeah, no one wants that. Maybe we go with like a darker or lighter silver. Here it is gray. I mean that's pretty ugly, but that's okay. Love the anti-aliasing on the letters. Picked up there. Can we do that? All right. I'm not sweating it because that text is not going to live there. Looks freaking awesome. It's looking great. Okay. Yeah, we look like just a horrible MS-DOS game now. Sure, that's where we currently live. Freaking horrendous MS-DOS game. This happened. Oh, I guess when I copied and pasted it, the rotation. It's all right. Not worrying too much right now about how it looks. I am worrying a little bit about how it looks, but okay. Frame on this. Did 2 pixels. And it's 5 pixel. Okay, nice little frame there. Oops. Oh, I can do white. Yeah, that's gonna look real nice. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And all of these are going to be buttons, so all of them will have the same ish thing, or raised element to them. Years of experience here, folks, culminating in crappy looking buttons. So we're going to take this and we're going to make it a little lighter. Raised. That's not perceptible enough. A little bit obvious with these things when you're working in pixel art. We're at 1000 zoom right now. What we're actually going to be is 200 zooms. This is what it's going to look like in game. Okay, and then not much lighter. I was going to go a little darker here, but we'll go a little lighter here. And you can barely see that perspective change, but this is gonna be fun. Fabulous. Button any more obvious? Let's go with like a really dark gray for that. Absolutely putting time into the wrong things right now. Ooh, that's nice. That's real nice. And by real nice, I mean not that great. Do like a little gold in there, and that could be nice. These little dots here is gold. They kind of look like it's kind of nice. Little, this looks like little jewels. I don't think that actually helps with the perspective, but I do kind of like that as just a little air. We did all of this, I thought. Pretty ugly. Pretty ugly. You know what? We're gonna come back to it. all will be fixed later. All will be fixed later. Everything starts out looking bad. Like I said, this is really just an excuse for me to draw crappy looking fantasy stuff. Ooh, that's nice. Doesn't quite have the right button quality to it. Part of that is just the gold elements to it. Triangular part, we're going to leave it like that for right now. Procrastinating working on this view here because I know that's going to be difficult. Okay. So we're going to change transparency background now to black since we're going to be making grass. Ooh, nice. Amazing how things look better when you don't have really ugly green textures on top of them. Okay. We're going to take the wizard now. For old man's color scheme. Look at that. Fantastic. In the actual game, I'll do like little portraits for the characters rather than the standing models. We'll go here. The scale of that is going to be pretty wacky. Okay, so should caravan look like? Probably like an Oregon Trail style wagon. Fantasy wagon. Caravan. Exotic. Maybe I just want like a guy carrying a banner. Really? This is the kind of thing I'm thinking of when I'm visualizing. I probably want like a guy on a horse with someone carrying a loop behind him. That sounds hard to draw though. This is where AI is helpful for like inspiration. Like this guy. Who's this? um, Something cool I could do is have it so that like all the party members appear here. You have a wizard, you have the wizard, and then you have the knight standing next to him. But I do want that feeling of like emotion. So what we'll start with is just the actual landscape itself. So we'll have that, and then we'll have what we're careful of is mountains or gray next to gray color here on mountains. Uh, yeah, that's a mountain, all right. Crags and stuff, mountains, off the side like that. Yep, those are mountains. That's mountains. Scale is going to be an issue. Well, a lot of things are going to be an issue. Maybe we just have a really unambitious background with just grass and then it just becomes sky. I think Oregon Trail had mountains in it because that probably looks really weird. He says, as he does, like the most jacked up mountains in history. It looks super weird to just have that a little better. I probably need to color sides of the mountains different. Sloping in this direction. Yeah, now it looks great. That really solved the problem. These color choices aren't pronounced enough to really be working. This freaking green color here is really not helping. But these are starting to look like mountains. Not have actually done green on there yet because we're going to be. I forgot that wasn't the background that I chose. Okay. Because I want to be done drawing mountains. Draw like a lot more mountain. I always start a drawing and I'm like, wow, I'm horrible at drawing. This is never going to look good. And eventually, after just bashing my head into it for long enough, I end up with something that I'm like, well, that's not bad. Maybe I should be an artist. Not saying this looks good, but I have a feeling we can get this to somewhere that we're not embarrassed by. Wrong colors. I'm getting all mixed up here. That's right. These grays just aren't pronounced enough difference-wise. I'm hoping that these aren't collided with each other. We're going to make this a lot lighter than that. Anything? I don't think so. Okay, yeah, so this was wrong. I couldn't even tell before that I was using the wrong grays on it. Shout out to my friend Susan, who is a really good artist. She majored in fine arts, studio arts in college. She's always been super supportive of my amateurish ventures into art and has always given me confidence and tips and helped me make the cakes I baked for my ex-girlfriend. Did some cake rescue for me. Big shout out to Susan. She's a dear friend. Suze. Good egg. To describe Susan in 2 words, it would be good egg. Okay. Shout out to those post-breakup Majora's Mask streams. Shout out to all the real ones who came to those streams and hung out. Awesome viewers who have stuck with this channel despite how ridiculous. Looking great. Looking really good. It's not right there. Yeah, that looks kind of good. Kind of fun. I just to do like a tower, like a wizard's tower kind of thing. That'll be fun. Could be not bad if you like take those off there. Do some, whoops. Cool. Check the chat here, make sure that we're not missing anything. So we don't miss anything. Engagement is so strong on the stream at 2:50 in the afternoon on a Friday. Peak streaming time. Clearly, that's why there's no one watching the stream, because it's 2:52. Surely, if I stream this after work, have a billion people watching. Sure. That's real nice. Some of these clearly right, but that's okay. It's going to be clearer what's right and what's wrong when we fill. Different colors are going to be like the different faces of the mountain. That's a real twisty cliffside there. Okay, and the question becomes, when is enough enough? Seamless. There it is, folks. It's seamless. Actually, that is fairly seamless. Okay, so there. And let's get a real dark gray. Here, what we're filling. Nice. Let's go. That. That. This side with a lighter gray. Ooh, that's too light, I think. Yeah. Huh, let's try it. Let's see. I mean, it's not horrible. definitely seen worse. I've definitely done worse. Some of the fills are not quite right. Perspective is wrong. This is not right here. This mountain's a little funky. We've got the funk. Give up the funk. Yeah, something here is wrong. It's these like twists and curves here. Let's try doing that. Part of it is I don't know what I'm looking at as far as which face faces which way, because I just have no idea what I'm doing in terms of art. Let's go with this gray. Not gonna blend in too much with the other. I think the light side is facing this way and the dark side is facing this way. Like, it's almost cool. Almost looks right. That more of an angle. Yeah, that's better. This one's nice. I like that. I've already forgotten what my perspective was, how the perspective works. The good news is, this the art style in this is just going to be non-cohesive. The style is that the style doesn't make sense. So even if it doesn't make sense, that's accomplishing its purpose. Look at that. We got a mountain range, and no one will ever notice that it's looping. It still doesn't look right. That looks better. Perhaps that. And you know, and I know. Oh, that's kind of cool. And we'll round that off there. Okay. Not going to say good enough because it's not good. But I have certainly seen worse. I'm done. Yeah. Let's go with that. we're not going for perfection here. We're going for having fun drawing crappy mountains. I'm going to put these in their own sprite. We're just going to put these in this editor here. Paint.net. Yeah, okay. Just so that I have them. Because actually I'm not going to want these in the separate background, so we can do a parallax effect on them. And we can have like 3 different layers of mountains moving separately to give perspective, which will be cool. So actually what I want to do is put these. Let's leave them here because we are going to need them for layouts. Wow, that actually does not look bad from afar. God, I love pixel art. When I say it doesn't look bad, I don't mean this. I mean the mountains look kind of cool. How large are these? Let's 94 by 25. That's a very standard size for size canvas. 4 by 25. Those are our mountains. All hail. Okay, so now that we have those in their own file, we can just do whatever we want here. more we have these overlapping in different places, the more variation there will appear to be. That, and then we'll do this. Después vamos a hacer esto también. Esto también. Esto además. Ante. We'll do this. And this. Esto. Beautiful. This. And then we'll do awesome. Look at that. We got mountains. And look at that. Wow, that is some ugly grass. Okay, perspective-wise, that sort of works. Let's move these down a little bit. It's not what I wanted. It's down just a little bit. Then we will do sky. Once again, I know how hideous this color palette is, but the purpose here is to just do completely non-cohesive, like make it look so color so weird that any color kind of looks good. And I think we want to do probably want to do some kind of gradient getting darker as these go backwards. Right? Is that how perspective works? Yeah, yeah, definitely. We risk making this look like really weird. We risk making this look like the gradient tool in Kid Pix if we do like too pronounced an effect, but that doesn't look too bad. That looks like there's a little shadow at the bottom of the mountains. If we wanted to, this is kind of insane. Let's try this. I think this might look really bad, but let's give it a try. These, this. Let's just copy this into a new window in case something screws up, because GameMaker has a limited undo history. Fact, GameMaker has a history. I don't think I got everything here. We need all of them mountains. What? Oh, because it's got a frame to it. Okay. Now what we do is we do saturation value. Work with the background. Wait, prepare your eyes. Oh, right, I forgot to do that. Flip verticalmente, no. Okay. Oh boy, am I confused. My brain is so unhappy with me right now. I just have no idea. Okay. Right. I think we're still in the right ballpark. Right, no. To background, back to black. Back to black. By the side. How much glad to be there. The opposite of what I wanted. No, I think this is actually what I wanted. I think this is right. Yeah, no, this is right. We're in the right territory here. And still, there's transparency issues copying things in and out of GameMaker. Hopefully we don't run into those. Disabled. All right. Paste. Okay. And just like that, we have shadows coming off them. Put these horizontally. This doesn't look right. Kind of cool. Not great, but it's kind of cool. I think we'd actually also want these skewed this way, depending on what time of day it is. That's cool. I'm gonna keep it. Oh, it's so cool. These are the little tricks you pick up over the years. Okay. Tenemos montañas. Is that how you say mountains? I don't know. Okay, so one thing we can actually do, we can leave this like this. We're going to need to take out the sky. Okay. Right, yeah, so we can leave this. We just need to take the sky out. Nice. Really, I could do this with a color, but did it like that, and now we do it like this. Did it like that, and now we do it like. No, you know. Don't. I feel bad for you, son. Got 99 problems, and Chub Rock ain't one. Okay, tile set. There you go. Magnifico. Patriote. We're gonna need to mess with the depth here. And we gotta keep the comments open so that when the engagement begins, it's coming really strong. Tiles always in front of backgrounds, I guess. Yes, they are. I guess that's the nature of a background. That's the true meaning of a lowrider. Well, this isn't actually going to be a background, so let's. Right, this is going to be a sprite. I don't know what I. What are you thinking? That's not okay anymore. Right. Okay. Sprite. And then we'll remove background. Hi. And look at that. Fits like a glove. Okay. And now we do want backgrounds. Ooh. We don't want vertical tiling. We do want horizontal tiling. Change this to black because gray is difficult to see. Okay. 2, 5. Okay, nice. Actually say 48. Yeah. Okay. And then let's see, -1. See how this looks. It's going to be such a pleasure watching this compile because it's going to be a billion times faster than Teatime Samurai. Samurai has just compiled so slowly now. It's horrible. Hey, look at that. If you squint your eyes and cover your eyes, it looks like we're moving. That's so stupid. All right, so I think we also need the foreground mountains to be moving as well. Perspective to work, or maybe we just need, well, first of all, having this visible on the sides is not helping. Also, we need to change the game settings to stop anti-aliasing, because that's not going to help anything either. Graphics, interpolate, absolutely not. We'll do that. UI frame, we will fill this with background colors. Especially matters for up there. But I think that should help the overall effect a little bit. Still looks pretty bad. Is it the nearest ones that you want to move and the furthest ones that you don't want to move? Yeah, I think it's actually the ones that are further back want to be still, and the ones that are closer that you want to move. Art. Right now, it's like those mountains are in a river or something. We all live in a capital R. Capital R. Okay. 389 by 43 ist was ich möchte. And that there's going to be some depth issues here. So this is going to need to become its own sprite, and that's fine. Mountain foreground. Just going to call this mountains. Difference between the foreground mountains and the background mountains is just going to be the shadow. Bottom. I could do the shadow programmatically, but there's just no reason to do that. Okay. So, okay. We're going to need to do a few things. Number one, because we're moving the shadow into the other object, that out of here. The gradient has been ruined by my brilliant shadow. Another thing where we could drawing a rectangle here programmatically, but not necessary. Okay, so this has a depth that's in front of everything else. We have the mountains, which are behind it. Mountains behind it, the issue is the shadow. Yeah, all right, we're just going to do that differently. We're just going to fake the shadow on top of the grass. We'll increase the height of the mountains in that. And Oh, my gradient, my beautiful gradient. Okay. I've been saved. Thank you, Ben, for saving my life. Okay. Oh, depth issues. Depth issues. Drilling stream. Flying mountains. You know what? Actually, I thought this was going to be an issue. It's not because the foreground mountains can actually sit, or no, we determined it was the foreground mountains that move. Yeah, so we're gonna. Okay, yeah. Here's what we have to do. Foreground. Wrong mountain. Foreground mountains need to have. Can we blend? We can blend. No, we can't. So we'll go back here. We'll use layers. Game Maker doesn't support layers, but Paint.net does. Such a beautiful holy matrimony. I think I'm gonna need to resize this. We'll do this. Nice. Okay, and then we got this guy, so that's perfect. Um, I think we'll do this in the draw event rather than having multiple. No. We need to tile it. So let's say there's like 3 layers. Layer 0, X. This is an array. I mean, I guess if I want to add more layers of mountains later, but I don't see that happening. Mountain layer. My secret mountain layer. Mountain layers. Throat is starting to get sore. Okay. The ternary function in the other one, which I use so many terms. If there, now we have ternaries in Game Maker. Probably just have done this with some math. Okay. Despite bad practice, 2 minus V should make it so that the closer layer moves faster and the further layer slower. Oh, we should actually do this. X. I might have an off by 1 error there. I don't know. I'm toasty. Chat should really be spamming me with hydrates here. For shame. Okay. Stop at bat. Like Piazza. Right, tiling. Tiling. So at what point do we need to tile? When this becomes less than this. No, really when this becomes less than if layer X. This is totally wrong. We're gonna just write what's in my brain right now, and then we're gonna come back to it. No, that's the sub-image. That'll tile it once. That will do wrapping. Mountain layer X. On it so that if this far right side gets below X, it jumps back. Because at that point we'll have covered the second layer as well. Let's try it, bugger it. We want to be doing this. Let's see what horrible nightmarish way this gets screwed up. I think depth is immediately going to be a problem. Set the depth in the mountains. Type for plus LH at what the heck? I'm using Yo-Yo compiler right now, which is going to do error messages. Oh, that's probably why, because I'm adding an array here. Yeah, Strava illegal array use, or yeah, that's what I thought. I think that's basically doing what we want. The depth is in the wrong order though. So we're gonna do this. Okay. Yeah, well, that didn't quite work there with the sprite looping. Is that right, perspective-wise? Like, does that? I guess that looks like we're moving, right? I think we're drawing wrong one of these in the right. Equals 0. Yeah, because we're going the opposite way now. This might. I think this is a set of 1. Okay, so shooting in the dark here. I need to eat something because my brain is going quite fuzzy. No, definitely not right. I definitely need to eat something because I'm no longer programming by reason. I'm just programming by sense and intuition. So purely by habit and memorization that I'm coding right now. I wonder why that's not. Oh, I know why that's not showing. It's because of depth. Yeah, that's why it's not showing. Up there, then it'll start showing. It's higher than I want that to be though. Just it's the height of the grass. Know what I'm gonna do for dinner. Really lunch. I haven't eaten lunch. Don't know what I'm gonna do for dinner. What I'm gonna do for Lindor, proprietor of fine chocolates. Gosh, what a bunch of pretty mountains. Horizon line's a little too high. Yeah, I reckon that's closer to where we want to be. Come down a little bit more. Oops. Oh, did I not? Not at all. Um, no, it's because this has so much of it. Which also means that I'm going to need to add that green to there. I forgot about that. Ich forgotten Sie abouten Zaten Sie. It's not right. Um, yeah, we're gonna. No, no, we won't. I know I'm not even saying what the issues I'm looking at are now because I'm just like the pinball wizard playing by sense of smell at this very moment. I'll have to figure out what's up with my mountain looping. This is actually a tricky problem, having implemented sliders in JavaScript, getting things to loop like this. If I do that. No, okay, so I think I had it right before with where the mountains were drawing. I think this should be actually 0. Did it? If I draw it 0, that's going to make it the 1 in the back. That's definitely not what we want. Yeah, when you're tired like this, this is when you start just getting inscrutable issues. Is that correct perspective-wise? I mean, it's very fast, obviously, but mesmerizing. It's also way too many mountains. Way too many mountains. Oh, wow. Blowing my mind right now. Okay. Okay, what am I actually computing right now versus what do I need to be computing? I need to see if the right side of this mountain hits position 0. So let's forget about x. Let's write out what we're trying to do. If far right of the mountain that's to 0, snap the whole thing to its start position. So that would be mountain layer 0. So this starts at 0. And every frame losing 1, losing 1. Mountain x is less than, right, width. This would be if it was at 0. No, that's not right. Negative sprite width. Offset that by x. That just be x plus or x minus? Moving it by x. Oh my god, my brain is melting with the heat and needing to eat something. Well, we could try it both ways and just bash our head against it until we eventually get it right. So let's do that. I don't even know what I'm programming anymore. Let's try that. Compile times are so low that, like, you have nothing to lose here. I'm just going to move things around the different sides of it until something works. That didn't work. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. Though I think that's the offset of x there, right? Doesn't that look like difference between that and that? If I just do that, did I try this already? Right, yeah, because x doesn't matter, does it? That do it? I think that did it. Yeah, that did it, because you can see the repetition here. No one will ever notice. Holy cow. Oh, man. All right, let's try. B times 2.5. 2.5. And let's slow these mountains down real nice and good. hauling ass right now. Oops. That was wrong. Whatever. Does that look like we're moving? I can't really tell. I think again, I want this to be lower. Real quick. Relieved that I got. Still have the gradient. I need to just get rid of this gradient here. Sadly, sadly, sadly. Five. Or with perspective, wouldn't the mountains be getting lower? I guess it depends on what our vantage point is. Are we below the mountains? Above the mountains? Are we looking like way up from across a field? Right now, this doesn't really make any sense. And I think that these shadows are wrong. All we know is the sun is like almost directly above the mountains. Boy, this looks. I think we want to make them like a little smaller as they go back, as well as a little darker, because I think that's how perspective works. Where are we coming from? This direction? Tell which way we're moving. Kind of a cool effect, though. It's really blowing my mind right now, guys. Or we want them to be smaller as they go back. Let's not. Why am I drawing? Oh, right, because that's right. XT. Let's do blend. That's not gonna work though. We can do this differently then. 110 white. Might be making the closest mountain the most invisible. I don't remember. Don't remember what I'm doing. Or it might be doing nothing. That looks a little better. I think we have too many layers of mountains. Like that one's definitely too much back there. Or what if we Interessante. Here's an interesting idea. Do some variation here by flipping these around. Times. There's definitely a math way to do this. I'm just gonna do a freaking turn. Easy. V mod 2 equals 0. And let's see what 4 minus V is. Or no, we want 1 divided by divided by 4. Yeah, so I definitely have that the wrong way around. That's doing some really interesting wrong things. There's a lot of interesting wrong things happening there. So we changed a few too many things at once here. Right now I have this backwards. Um, yeah, so that, whoa, whoa. So that's happening because of our X origin. Boy, nice if these were centered. Can I just center them? Would that be is that going to cause huge problems? Center my X. Oops. Right. 389, center. I don't reckon this is going to work. Pretty sure this is going to cause looping issues. Little tiny X offset thing. Let's find out. That's cool, that effect of the mountains, the mountains getting distant effect. Still don't know if this actually like the parallax effect that we want, but it's cool. I'm spending so much time on this dumb parallax effect when I haven't implemented like any of the game. Literally, I haven't implemented any of the gameplay. I'm just having so much fun doing these mountains. That's all I've been working on. It's hilarious. Hilarious. Fortunately, no one says I have to finish this game. Tackling fun problems that are interesting to me this exact moment. That's going to do some weird things with the alpha we have on those mountains. What we actually want is for those mountains to get darker, not for them to get transparent when there's a black background. Wow, that's weird. That looks like there's some crazy fog going on. Wow, that's cool though. We do want that. We definitely don't want this many though. That's looking very mode 70. Cool. So let's take out one of those. 3 is too many. Yeah, I don't hate that. Not mad at that. I should look at the Oregon Trail map screen to see how they do it. Okay. And the nice thing about this is it's really easy to change the pace at which you're moving. You just change the scroll speed. Okay. All right, I think the game's done. I think that covers just about everything. What have I been streaming for? 16 views. Wow, great. Wow, audio stream bitrate of 0. Huh, I wonder if I have any audio on the stream. Maybe not. Cancel on stream. Analytics. How long am I going? I'm going for like an hour and a half, I think. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm gonna take a break because I gotta eat something. Bye, everybody.